Hello and welcome to World of Tanks with Rapsikis. I'm featuring my SU-122-44 again today. I was lucky enough to get top tier on an encounter mission. Assault mission on Karelia. So all you need to do is stay alive and keep them off your cap, then you win. So as you see, as we start, the bottom tier KV1, he hates the setup. Of course, I can't resist the temptation to tell him how much I like it, because there's only a few tier 7s, and with the monstrous DPM on this tank, I believe it's nearly 3,500, and the decent penetration, if you're top tier, there really isn't anything you need to be afraid of. Except, of course, if the enemy has a SU-122-44 with significantly better stats than yourself, then you need to be careful for that guy. So, obviously at first I head north, and I expect the enemies to go over the hill in the northeastern corner and then push on the A line. So I position myself in such a way that I can support my heavies, who will 10 to 1 be facing them on the A line around A7, A8 or A9. But in this case it didn't happen, so I had to relocate in order to find a way to at least mean something for my team. But you don't want to abandon your heavy as is pushing, because you never know when they're going to come up. So it was very tough to decide whether I should stay or move or relocate a little. And if I move forward too much, then I'll be within spotting distance from their heavies if they push forward. So it's a very tricky situation. But being an assault map and being the defending team, the golden rule is patience. You have to wait. Don't push. Don't get excited. Don't get impatient. Don't rush for the kill. Don't rush to get a little bit of extra XP if you want to win. If you want to win, then you need to be patient, plan, think, and wait. So I noticed my opposite number, the SU-122-44 in the enemy team, between the rocks there, and now I'm waiting for him to show himself again. But I realize while I'm waiting for him, I might be able to take shots at the KVA-5. Unfortunately, from my perspective, he's behind a rock, so I don't have an opportunity to put in any shots. Right, so I don't want to push forward too far, because then this rock will be in my way. So I finally get a shot on the enemy 120-44, but unfortunately only managed to damage a track without taking it out. You'll notice that I loaded my first round for the match an HE shell. This usually works very well if you're top tier, especially. You can do quite a lot of damage to enemies and or track them. And then if you queue your AP round to be loaded next, you can do a solid AP amount of damage, in this case 390. After they've been tracked. However, if your first shell is AP, in this case specifically, I wouldn't have damaged anything at all. I wouldn't have done anything to the enemy one day. So even though the only impact was that it is easier to track him now, it's still better than no impact whatsoever. Alright, and already you can see our friendly KV2 after he died saying GG, implying that we're not going to win. I have no idea what's going on with the zoom here, but so hopefully I can get some shots on the KVA-5 here. But again, he's behind a rock from my perspective, so I need to either wait or relocate. And since the western flank is doing okay, I don't have to go support them. I can afford to wait. Unfortunately, we are down to 4 versus 8 kills, which means we are in quite a difficult situation. However, if you look at the map, they've only dominated about 60%, maybe 70% of the map. And the part that we still dominate contains the cap circle, so they have to push, which means we have to be patient. We can wait for them, and hopefully we can get opportunities to level the scores, or at least play out the 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. So here I would have flanked RT-150, so I can get into a position where I can protect him, and then obviously, because I'm ready and waiting for him, I miss my first shot. Fortunately, our T-150 puts in a good shot, and I managed to take out the rest of the hit points of my opposite number. Unfortunately, the KV-85 gets a line on him and manages to take out our T-150. So we're now in a, well, for a short while, 5 versus 9, 6 versus 9. Now we're down up to a 5 versus 8. So at this point I decide to move back, simply because my tank doesn't have a turret and is not very maneuverable. It's rather maneuverable for what it is, but it's a bit slow in turning. So I move back so that I can take shots. However, unfortunately our Cromwell doesn't want to spot. And here you can see our 88 being swarmed. First the Leopard arrives, the artillery supports the Leopard, and I consider rushing out to go help him, but that would be a death trap. If I move out, then I would be killed, and proven by the fact that the KV-85 comes out. Unfortunately, I didn't really have a line on him. I tried to take a shot, but to no avail. So now the KV-85 and the Leopard are working together to take out our 88, which is a bad situation for him because it's such a slow tank. Even though it's got decent frontal armor, once you're flanked, you're in trouble. Fortunately, our Cromwell goes to support, but he takes a very heavy hit there, 440-55. I believe that's a very high roll for the KV-85, and he's taken out by the S-51. Now we're in a situation where we've got 2 tanks remaining versus their 6, and 3 of their 6 are artillery pieces. So, and if you look at the tank types, they are slow artillery pieces. So if we can eliminate the Leopard and the Stug, then their fast tanks are dealt with. Now again, I'm loading HE because I know the Leopard is on low health and has negligible armor. And here I'm very lucky. You'll notice as I'm running after him, I'm also traversing to my right to make sure that my gun doesn't jerk and make an even worse dispersion value than it has to have. So fortunately my shell managed to hit him there. I'm not sure if it was a hit or a splash, but the result is the same. I managed to take him out. And now, while I was spotted, I moved down on the 1 line south, and the moment I was sure I was unspotted, I moved back and came back to the A line, because obviously while I'm spotted they will try to see where I'm going and react accordingly. So chances are one of their TDs will be moving up this side in order to flank us. That's why I came back this side, hoping that the Stug or Nashorn would be pushing in. And I gave them some time, but not having not seen anyone, I decided to move, and then as I turned my backside, the Stug appears. Fortunately, I was able to use the rocks here to hide from him, and then I see the Nashorn approaching. I'm loaded and much faster, so fortunately the ram took him out. So now I can turn around to the Stug. The Stug only has about 100 mils of penetration, so my frontal armor is very safe against him, and I'm able to eliminate him easily. So when we started out with the 2 versus 6, this wasn't a very good game for me. I had not even gotten fire for effect, and now up to 4 kills and defending the base quite well. Now again, you can look at the enemy lineup. They've only got artillery pieces remaining, and they're all slow. And as is usually the case, chances are their view range is very, very bad. Whereas this tank, although it doesn't have a very good view range, I do have binoculars, so I should be able to outview them by nearly 100 meters once my binoculars are activated. So I go to where I expect them to be coming from next, and then I get the SU-122-44. I'm quite sure he can't spot me at this range, so I take my time to aim properly and eliminate him with 1 shot. Now, obviously I crouch up against the rock, as I would expect one of the artillery pieces to have been pre-aimed and ready to shoot at me, but fortunately the shell doesn't come. And now the clock is down to 30 seconds, and we're 2 versus 2. With 2 tier 7s on our tank and there's tier 7 and tier 5 on their team. So it looks good for us, and we only need to survive. They have to push. Now again, the guerrilla comes pushing in. I know he can't spot me at this range, or I hope so at least. So I take my time to aim in, and when he crests the rise, I can take a very safe shot. Alright, now moving immediately because I want to avoid the incoming artillery shell, and the clock runs out, so unfortunately I'm unable to get my 7th kill. So let's have a look at the post-game stats. It's only a 2nd class mastery because the damage total wasn't very high, and I was top tier, so I didn't get any experience bonus for the damage that I did, but I did get the Top Gun and Pascucci's medal. On the team details, you'll see I'm not even number 1 on experience. Our M12 managed to get more experience, even though it did less damage. But I'm also 2nd on damage, 1385 versus the Cromwell's 1573. Very well done for the Cromwell there. Shout out to Citizen Oleg. And then on the personal details, you'll see I managed to rake in a very tidy profit of nearly 31,000 credits. And with my daily bonus and some personal reserves, 2,500 experience. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, whatever your situation is, don't give up. Don't make retard bubbles with your RT. Don't give up and start blaming your team. When you're still alive, you still have a chance. Do something. Try something. Even if it is just driving up and down and spotting the enemies, maybe you've got an artillery piece that's awake, and at the end of the day, even if you don't win, you'll get more experience and hopefully enjoy your game more. Thank you for watching.